initiate release sequencer. On my mark. 5.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2. 1. Mark.
Welcome back to the Resupply with me, Guy Next Door.
It's me, DK.
And me, Ethan.
Bringing you your weekly double tap of all things culturally inappropriate and Laser Force.
Don't appreciate this whole Italian minstrel show you got going on over
It's
here.
so weird. I didn't realize what I was hosting. Howdy, boys. How we doing? I don't know why I put on a cowboy accent. Hi, guys. How are you?
Doing just fine, Haas.
Jesus. We're just getting off to a totally culturally inappropriate start to the show on so many levels. It's fantastic.
It's not quite as bad as what happened in our team group chat this morning, but we won't say what happened there in public. I'll probably talk about it.
I don't think we need to.
It was pretty funny. Well, no, it wasn't that funny, actually. It was pretty bad. Good morning to you, chat. Hello, nice to see you all. Thank you for joining us. Love seeing you all here. Slaughtermelon, always here, every week. Very nice to see you again.
Seldom here.
What's been going on, boys? What's new in your lives? I mean, obviously there's a lot going on. But what's happening? How's your week's been?
So my week was pretty fucking fantastic. I mean, obviously you guys got a break from me last week because I was in Oregon last week for 4.5 days, which was fucking amazing / ridiculous. So the Oregon coast is one of my favorite places in the entire world. It's pretty great. It just is. I have never had weather as good as the time I spent this last Portland, Oregon at this time of the year. Like any type of fall, winter, spring. Like it was literally, and I'm going to do this in freedom units. So sorry, everybody who's not in freedom units. Yeah, it was basically low 60s, sunny, and no wind for the entire time that I was there.
So that's like what? Early 20s, low 20s,
yeah,
thereabouts.
That sounds about right. About right.
Beautiful.
Low 20s.
That's
so
delicious.
it was gorgeous weather. I had like perfect travel time and everything. Like my flights were all either on time or early. The dealing with the like 2.5 hour drive that I had to do was easy. It was just one of those trips where it's like everything travel wise went right and everything else went right too. So that was great. And then I came back to getting what my bonus numbers and raise numbers for the year were. And both of those were real fucking good.
$69,420.
Nice. Guess who's coming to Vegas? I mean, the offer's still there. If you want to change the flights around, come hang out in Vegas, or at the very least, come to St. George.
After this round of papers, that's sounding mighty tempting.
Oh, you should, man. Come. So, we and all of that sounds very, very nice, Dan. It sounds like you had a bloody wonderful time. We were hanging out in the sports lounge last night in Discord, !Discord and chat if you aren't a part of the Discord. And we were hanging out. We were graced by the presence of a couple of guys that don't often grace us with their presence. Baden was in there, and Slaughtermelon was in there, among many other people. But we're talking about like. Oh fuck! I just hit a pothole. I have no idea where I was going with that.
Yeah, and Steve-O, we can't even bail you out of this because we have no idea where the fuck you were trying to go with that. Like normally
they're both in chat, so Baden, Caleb, fill us in. What did you guys talk about?
Yeah, like normally we at least have some sort of idea of like where the fuck you're going, so we can, maybe like bump you a little bit, like, hey, is this what you meant? No fucking clue. No fucking idea. So well done having your brain short
man,
circuit.
that's so bad.
Right
Space Cadet Steve is coming in for a landing.
I thought the last week was bad. Last week was so muggy. I couldn't function. I don't know what the fuck happened. I am currently battling a pretty gnarly headache, but I didn't want to cancel the show today, so we're gonna battle through. I had some painkillers, so maybe that's the problem.
Oh sure.
I
Blame the drugs.
honestly, I can't remember what it was going to be about. I have no idea. I can't even. It's alright. I'll remember later. It'll annoy the shit out of me.
More than likely.
One thing though, that I did want to bring up really quickly. So Sergeant Tucker sent me a link tag-related mental health chat. Steve, it was. I'm pretty sure it was neither of those things. We did have a pretty deep and meaningful in chat last night. It was really, really good, actually. And the more of those that you can have throughout your life, the more enriched your life will be, I think. Because to anyone listening outside of that conversation might sound like you're full of shit, but you know what you're talking about sometimes. But Tucker sent me a link last night, and I wanted to put it in chat here. So a member of the Loveland community, John Calkins. Ooh, let me get rid of that.
AKA Simply Okay, AKA Mimosaurus.
Yes, he is a music producer, and he's just dropped a new track that I absolutely love. It's really, really good. I've put a link in chat if you guys can follow him on YouTube. But at the very least, give that track a listen because it's real good, really, really good. Was it about being on your knees? No, it wasn't about that. But yeah, it's does he stream, Tucker? I mean, I can try that. I think you might have to have mod roles to do that. Let me.
Yeah, you can't just put in random exclamation points. You need magic to do that.
Exclamation! Give me them biddies. But yeah, give it a hoon because it's really good. I'm gonna put it on our regular Lego stream rotation, and actually my personal rotation. But John makes some really good music.
Nice.
So,
yeah, has been featured on several of the compilation videos that Mischief has made for his YouTube channel.
Yes. Which I didn't go ahead and maybe exclamation mischief is a thing. I doubt it.
No, I don't think so.
We're not giving any credit to creators over here on this channel.
That's right.
We have no affiliates.
That's right. Even though I've just put in the final touches on a new Toothpick Steve track called "You Willin' We Shillin'." So that song's gonna hopefully drop this week. I'm hoping I can get it done in time to debut it on community content on Monday over on Blueson channel. Exclamation Blueson in chat. But yeah, I'm so out of it today. I don't know what the hell's going on. I just realized I think I might be dying. I think you know what it is. I think I'm just very
nice timing. Nice timing.
Yeah, that timing is fucking atrocious, bro. Well done.
I think I might just be excited and a little bit scattered because I've got heaps of stuff floating around in my head for stuff that I want to do when I finally get stateside. So T-minus less than a week, and we'll be hanging out this time. Maybe this time next week. No, next day.
Not quite. Yeah, 8 days from now.
Basically,
this time 8 days from now.
Right.
Yeah, basically about 20 hours from now.
Right.
Plus a week.
Plus a week. Yeah. Yeah.
All
right. That was
some
great math.
Let me just write that down.
It sounded.
So
it
or X.
Way better in my head. It sounded way better in my head, and then it got partway through and oh well, I've committed to the bit, so I may as well finish making myself look like a complete and total moron.
Never.
Constantly.
What I was actually thinking about, because I think I did work out the math, sort of. I think I will be off my flight by this time next week, and we'll be in LAX. So we could theoretically do a show. It might be a bare bone show, but we could do a show. I'm gonna do something next week from the airport, so we'll see. The stream lags every time Than talks. That's not just Than. It could just be Than.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe. But yeah, we're so close, boys. We are so very close, and I'm so very excited about seeing you all.
Yeah, so close, and we're about to go right over the edge with how close we are. We're just edging right now. We're totally just edging.
Double blimey.
Goodness me!
Damn it!
Almost. Just
Almost.
a little bit entered my mouth.
Didn't quite make him spit though.
Luckily not.
He took it like a champ. So
we're gonna talk about some West Coast stuff. There we got a list of people that are attending, and we're gonna judge them all super harshly. But before I do, Baden sent me his shopping list of what he wants me to bring, and I wasn't far off. It's like 20 bags of candy, and
Reasonable.
20 bags of candy, specifically Whittaker's products. And then baking ingredients to make lolly cake.
Yeah, okay. No, that actually makes sense, because there are definitely certain things that you can't really find here from New Zealand, or if you can find them, they are dumbly expensive.
Smalley, please.
Dumbly expensive.
Can you message me that, please? Because I will forget if it's not in my message. I'll probably forget anyway. But please message me, because I'll get you a bag of them. Does anyone else want anything?
His bag will just be sent to some other airport, as has happened on previous trips. So you guys will either get your stuff or you won't. Those are your two options.
Don't fly to Chicago, folks.
That's just good advice generally.
Yeah, bring you a goodie and you will trade a UK goodie for it. Done, Titch. Done. Do you want any British chocolate? Nah, your guys' chocolate's garbage. So
you're not wrong.
Shots fired.
We're gonna.
Not wrong though.
We're gonna.
Still better than American.
Yeah,
I didn't say it wasn't better than American, but compared to Kiwi chocolate, it's shit.
Still better than American doesn't hold that much weight, to be fair.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially in the last couple of calendar years, I think that has been just a general maxim of life.
No cream eggs for you. We get cream eggs here, and they're fucking awesome. I don't need your cream. I don't know why I'm picking a fight with you over the stream. You guys have very delicious treats. You know what I'm a big fan of? Iron Brew. That's a Scottish product, which is obviously a different country than the one you live in, Smalley. But Irish Brew pretty dope. But we do get Irish Brew here. It's very delicious. Right. Let's talk about.
Hang on. Titch is for trying to pick a fight, saying that they have the best fish and chips.
I'm surprised actually.
They might, but they don't have the best fish and chips.
You know what? I'm really surprised that my auto mod didn't just already flag that post and just like ban it from chat. So
yeah,
that's blatant hate speech. Right. So Laser Force content. That's what we're here for.
Yep. Well, hold on. I got two quick stories.
Ooh, excellent.
Here. So, okay, so I've been like ramping up my training schedule and stuff like that, getting ready for West Coast and all that.
Hashtag
and
brag. Yep.
Yeah. Well, see, it might end up a little bit more humble than bragging, because unbeknownst to me, it was apparently causing some, shall we say, lower intestinal issues, because I was just working out too hard, apparently, and I'm just like, okay, you're old and you can't do that anymore, so we don't need to get into too much detail on that particular part, but that has since been solved, so hopefully at our lovely accommodations, I won't just be, blowing things up with IBS at like 3 a.m.
Steven, what?
Yeah, exactly. Give me some Imodium, bro.
Can you bring me some milk? Bill Bob Bag, what
today,
up, dude?
So like today, I'm at the gym and I'm getting ready to do my warm-up and stuff like that. And I go over just to do some pull-ups, and there's a dude who'd been doing like double cable crosses on, like this one like huge expanse of gym and stuff like that. But he had finished that, and he was like changing over one of the chains to do something on the other side. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll go to the other end of the thing, do my pull-ups, so it won't bother him, stuff like that. And this fucking, I almost was gonna call him a shaved ape, but I realized that's actually the name of one of the Loveland A players, so I don't want to confuse the issue. But this fucking bald Sasquatch, Joe Rogan looking motherfucker just like comes over. He's like, why are you getting my workout space, bro? Why are you getting my workout space? I'm just like, I'm gonna be here for like 15 seconds. I just need to do 10 pull-ups and I'm gonna go away. I'm gonna be a dick about it. So that was gonna like bother me for a little bit until I went over to the bench to like do my other workout, stuff like that. And some old gym guy comes over to me. He's like, hey, that guy, he's just a dick. He did that to me too. Like, he thinks he owns the whole fucking gym. So I'm like, thanks, old gym guy. Appreciate that. So I don't just feel like I missed some whole big thing to, like, just, I don't know, cuss this guy out and tell him that his head's fucked up because the HGH. I don't know. Whatever. You know who you
Snowflake.
are. You're watching the show right now.
Yeah.
You meathead bro.
Get your damn podcast out of my gym space, bruh. Snowflake, thank you very much for the sub, bruh. Appreciate it. You know what you should have done is start like coughing uncontrollably just in front of them, coughing and sneezing. Should be like, oh, sorry, I just gotten out of like a little bit of isolation, and then like see how fast he leaves your gym space. It's probably pretty quick. Hey,
should have been quicker on my feet, I guess.
Very very quick announcement for you, Bill Bob Bag. I got another rap track in the can, almost in the can. So. Stick around for a couple of weeks and you might hear it. I did a little bit of exercise this week as well, kind of mostly out of like I did some like anger boxing, and I was like punching out my rage because I had a rough day. Some stressful stuff happened, and so I went downstairs and like spent about 10 or 15 minutes, because that's all I could muster, punching the bag. And oh my god, I'm still in pain. This was like Wednesday. I'm like pain all up my sides. I was like, oh man, how do I feel? How did I lose the fight against the bag? That's bullshit. But yeah, I kind of wish that I'd done a lot more training. I think once word kicked off that like, actually you're probably not going to be able to travel, I stopped all my training. I was just like, fuck it, I'm not going to get to go anyway. And turns out that was a poor choice. So, maybe I need better motivation.
That was all within like a 10-day span where you're like, I don't think I'm gonna go, and then like 2 days later you're like, actually I think I can go. So what do you mean?
Well, no, so
how much training was that gonna be?
when I bought my flights and then Omicron popped up, I was like, realism Steve, he has way more space in my head than a lot of people would think. And so I was like,
I hate that guy.
Oh, me too. He's
what
so
a
mean.
dick.
What
a dick.
But he basically like, bro, you're not gonna get to go to the States anymore. And I was like, yeah.
How about the cheeseburger?
you don't need to go to that garage and start training. I was like, yeah, probably. So maybe, and I think Dan said this to me, like maybe training shouldn't be centered around laser force only. Yeah.
She makes a very valid point.
She's a smart lady.
Now, granted, laser tag helps. It's a great motivator to be like, oh, yep, count the team down. Gotta be in shape for this comp. But yeah, it's true. If you can do it just for your general health, that's also probably a good thing.
Yeah. We've got a sub too, so Odin will be there to pick up the slack. Right. Did you guys want to talk about anything else before we get into the crux of what today's episode is?
That was my story time, so we can get to the real show now.
Perfect. Game face. So as many of you know, you may have heard next week we're all gathering, not all of us, but some of us are gathering in Colorado to play in West Coast Tournament, which will be starting the 28th of February. We'll go for 4 days. And so there are a bunch of people coming. There's actually 8 teams coming to this, which is massive.
Ridiculous.
That's probably the limit of what you would want in a 4-day like tournament, really.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll be playing, and it's going to be bloody great. But we've got a list of teams that that Sergeant Tucker put up on the website, and I think it's for the most part pretty much finalized. Do you refer to him as a sub? Yeah, exactly right.
That's not what he meant. He meant he was using that in a very different sense of the word.
Yeah. G&D gonna top some people.
Yeah, under strict orders that you have to drink throughout the tournament. Excellent. But yeah, let's go into the teams that are running. Do you guys wanna start us off by like naming all the teams, or how do you want to do this?
Well, I don't know if in the Facebook page or whatever they put in the fancy names from the schedule where I can't even remember which team is which. I'm just going off of geographic locales on what the different teams are being called. So we have Loveland A, B, and C. So 3 Loveland teams. Well, 2.5. Loveland C is kind of a hybrid team.
They've referred to them as Loveland A, Bakery, and Korean Barbecue 2.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, see, I can remember like who was Korean Barbecue, who was the bakery, who was Food Not Friends, or all this other. I'm just like what happened in the good old days where we just called teams Sacramento and Auckland and Brisbane?
Is that no Nats?
Yeah. Anyways. So, okay, 2.5 Loveland teams. We have the Cedar City team, not St. George, Cedar City. But some people will probably call them St. George A because it is the historical list of like the OG St. George players, plus Slaughtermelon because he's just their ringer now. Bloody traitor.
What a traitor.
You have the New Zealand Detroit Sack hybrid team, aka retirement home, aka stack team, aka stack of pancakes.
That last one sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah. AKA, no, I'll save that for later. Nope.
AKA Steve's Tops. We got the Chula Vista team. We have the UK hybrid team, UK plus Fan and Disco Stew. And we have the St. George new players, new school St. George team of the somewhat newer tournament players.
Now, can we start with that team? Because that one's probably the team that like is the least concrete team, right?
Least concrete in what sense?
Like finalized players for that team, or are they got
my understanding is they have their final roster now.
Oh, cool.
They were originally going to roster 7. But I know one player to drop. I don't know exactly who it was, but I know Disco Monkey is going to fill in, and I believe Ivy was going to also be a replacement player for them. So I don't know which of the other players that I have listed actually dropped, but it's certainly some players that I recognize. That some people that I've played with, like Metalface and Fluffy Cloud, I know certainly have been at tournaments I've been to in the past. Metalface was at Fake Nats. And is the captain of that team and has become a pretty good player in the last year. Certainly has shown a lot of improvement. So it doesn't surprise me to see him captaining. Disco Monkey, obviously a good player. Historically hasn't played in a little while. Ivy, lots of experience. And I know Rockwood and Fluffy Cloud have been playing quite a bit. I don't know a lot about a couple of the other St. George players named that I saw, but they're probably somewhat newer. So it's a less experienced team, but still definitely some people with good tournament experience on there.
What up, Karama? What's going on, bro?
Hey.
Right on. So do we wanna like we're gonna save our kind of expectations towards the end, right? Oh, we can do that 19
later.
months, bro. Thank you so much. Man, we've been doing this like for 20 months now at this point, which is crazy.
Ridiculous.
Kind of cray.
I'd like to take a moment just sit right. No. To thank everyone for all the support that you guys have given us over the last couple of years. It's pretty freaking awesome that we're still able to do this and commit to doing this on a weekly basis. And because you guys are weekly-ish, because you guys are here, that's the main motivation for us doing that. Because we used to take months off at a time, but now that we know that people actually hang out and listen, we're more dedicated to at least showing up.
Whether or not the content is any good is a whole other question.
Nah.
I believe Ducky already put in the hashtag quality content earlier. So
I don't think that's a
he
sarcastic
totally
hashtag either. It's very nice of him to say that.
Oh no, Ducky's never sarcastic and deadpan when he's eviscerating the fuck out of you.
So that team, that'll be an interesting team. Given that, they do have at least a third of that team from other sites traveling in to play with them. And that always throws up question marks. Even if players have been playing tag for a long time, and like both Disco Monkey and Ivy have, it's still hard to come in and play with people you haven't played with before and find cohesion, especially in 4 days.
Yeah, especially because I'm really not too sure. I wouldn't speculate on what any lineups for that team might look like. Like, I know that probably Disco Monkey could play a 3-hit for them, but I don't know, given that some of the guys are more practiced, who are coming from St. George, if they're going to want some ups at the 3-hit positions coming up here, if that's something that they're thinking. Right. So I can't really speculate on what their potential lineups or things like that will be. But we'll get to my ranking on them later.
Dan, got anything to say about them?
I mean, kind of echoing what DK said. I mean, you've got you do have some wider inner side experience on that team with Disco Monkey and Poison Ivy.
Just Ivy, not Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy's on your team.
That's right. I knew what I meant. You knew what I meant. But thanks for the correction. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how that team meshes, and I think that's going to be kind of the same story for most of the teams. Really, let's put that out right off the jump. We've got so many teams that have so many players from different sites and people that haven't necessarily been playing on a regular basis and all of that good stuff. That watching how teams flow together, as it were, within the practice day / first few matches that they have is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, that kind of also makes me excited for the format of having the round robin, but then having like the mini round after that, where you have kind of the two different flights of teams that are more closely matched together to really kind of see like where the ultimate rankings come down in seeding for finals. I'm just kind of excited about that format generally, because I think that's fairly novel from what I've done in the past, but I think that will allow for a lot of interesting, meaningful games kind of in the mid part of the tournament.
Yeah. Nobody's going to get shit stomped, during that. Well, hopefully, during that time period.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
It's my MO.
Obviously,
your ego's writing checks your body can't cash.
Right. Who do you want to talk about next on that list?
Let's go to Than's team, because it will just go in reverse order from how I mentioned them.
Yep.
Sweet.
We'll go to the UK Than team.
Sure.
Oi. Have you worked on your British accent yet?
No.
That's going to be your downfall. So you should have watched heaps of Downton Abbey before this tournament, just so that there's no communication errors, which there undoubtedly will be. If it's anything like DK trying to understand me in a maze, you might be in a lot of trouble.
That'll be fine.
How many teams you missed? You're right on time, Kodama. We've only
gone through one.
Yeah.
We just did the new St. George team. So according to my roster, the UK team is Huey, Smalley McSmall, Poison Ivy, Sarcastic Titch, Fan, and Disco Stew. So remember, you guys have Poison Ivy and Disco Stew, not Disco Monkey and regular Ivy.
Yeah,
I know. You gotta keep all these things straight.
Someone referred to
and
Disco.
Good thing Fake DK isn't coming to this tournament, otherwise we'd really have trouble.
Yeah, because we'd all die of some sort of illness. That's not COVID.
Yeah, pretty much.
Also that.
Yeah. So Goldfish is actually supposed to be on there as a 7th as well, but
okay.
So
I hadn't got that memo.
No, there's some questions about timing because of some other things that have come up. So it's not.
But she might be a stand-in for you guys.
Yeah,
that's a healthy. That's a handy pickup to get as a 7th.
Yeah,
like somebody who knows the maze.
Yeah, real good.
Yeah,
and
so that's so.
Tag.
Yeah, both things are helpful. Yeah, I don't know. This is again, it's going to be interesting because I mean here we've got 4 people coming from a country that kind of has a scene but not really, and 2 of them have experienced East Coast 2 years ago, and 2 of them are brand new into the thing, and then you've got me and Stu as these old ass motherfuckers that are maybe still partially competent, maybe. We'll
Bringing
see.
up the average age of the team to just over 56 years old.
Eat a dick.
That's rich coming from somebody on your team / my team.
Yeah, so
take these wins where I can get them.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. So it'll be again. I mean, it'll be interesting to watch them cope with the altitude change. It'll be interesting to see how both my and Stu's bodies hold up to playing tournament speed, because we're both damaged on various physical levels. We won't get into the emotional damage that both of us have, I'm sure. And yeah, so it's going to be it'll be interesting. I'm not I'm not worried per se. It's just it'll be an interesting experience getting everybody on the same page.
Titch brings up an interesting point. Obviously, the UK play a more zone style of rule set. That's gonna be an interesting week for him especially, but for all the Brits coming over, because having to worry about the shielding rule is such a different thing if you're not used to it. And vice versa, Chula Vista, obviously, yeah. I really struggled with, the you don't have to show a shoulder rule, because every time you see it, you just want to cringe and get real mad about it.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, Poison Ivy and Smalley have been here before, and so they've played with it, and I'm reasonably confident in both of their abilities to at least attempt to explain it to Titch and Huey. Whether or not Titch and Huey actually absorb the things that they're being told is a whole other question, I'm told. But I have no doubts that it's been explained very well to them.
Yeah.
But it's a difference between between having it explained and then being in the moment with it. And Titch makes a comment in chat about that's it's actually the chasing rule that's
You'll get it down. It won't be bad.
It's not that difficult once you get into the practice of it, I think.
Yeah, the rule is long on the page because there are stipulations you have to put in, but the essence of the rule itself is pretty easy. I think you'll get it down.
Yeah, and like
Kodama says when I play with them, they don't blind fire near as much as we used to. That would be hard, bro. That would be hard.
we yeah, I think with the backtracking stuff, like a good rule of thumb is if you didn't see them come out, if you're not 100% sure, probably, and you know it's like a point where people will run out to instead of backtrack, then you can't really risk it. Usually. It's just a good idea to have some good maze awareness and just kind of keep an eye on your surroundings.
Yep.
Cool. I'm so excited to meet the Brits. Obviously, like specifically
They're
Smalley, because you know Smalley's name really has been around forever. Like as long as I've been playing for, Smalley has been playing. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, high up on those leaderboards for most games played on IPL.
5th, I think. 4th, maybe? 5th. I don't know. Up there.
Top 10, anyway.
Top 10.
This is the part where I get bitter that I lost 2,000 games for
Yeah,
the second period,
yeah.
and DK, you lost
You and me both.
1,500-ish.
At least.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I know it was less than me because I had the most.
Yeah.
But it was not that much less.
But we'd probably both still be top 10 if we hadn't lost those, but
Pretty much.
spilled milk.
I could have
Still
thrown a ball over that mountain if I wanted to. Yeah. Bitter old dudes.
Right, delete.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to meeting you guys when you come over. And obviously, like, you know, it's gonna be a fun week regardless.
Yeah. My favorite chat that I got from you this week, Than, was I could hear your tone just from how you were typing. That you're just like, in this tournament, I might have to actually go out into the field. I might not just be able to play Resup all week. And I was like, yeah, I think they could probably benefit from maybe having your experience at, say, like Scout or Heavy or something like that.
Maybe I should have played for you.
It's-
I'm gonna be in the Resup all week. Probably.
Yeah, it's the perils of you having known me for as long as you have. You can translate messages from text to tone pretty fucking easily. Yeah, and that was exactly the tone that was being sent in.
Yes, accurate.
Oh, so
Yeah.
He's got
no.
sad knee noises. Hit Disco Stew's got sad back noises.
Do either of you?
There's just going to be a lot of sad noises.
You used to wear a knee brace, right, Than, or still do?
I was strapping my knee in 2008 because I didn't have an ACL in it.
Yeah. So like because mine keeps, I'm fairly certain that Odin shattered my kneecap when he was here. When he came to Auckland before Brisbane Nats. That one time, I think I can't remember which trip that was. But we were playing
After the Brisbane Nats?
Yeah. But we played a members' night at Auckland, and he ran into me, fucking jerk, and our knees collided. And it basically, ever since, I'm fairly sure there's bits floating around on my knee. Anyway, it's become a real problem. And
That's why we need him as the 7th, because part of you guys temporarily merged together. So we actually only have 6 rostered. It's just 7 names that are on there.
We share the same kneecap. But yeah, I'm wondering about getting a knee brace. Maybe I'll talk to you about that after the show. Right. Who do you guys want to talk about next?
Next team.
So we're going to reverse order. That would bring out Chula. So got interesting notes here.
Yuck.
Because we got
Chula Vista.
we got-
yuck.
Yeah, those fucking guys. So we got Kodama, we got Snowflake, we got Dylan, we got Sleep for the Week or whatever Nolan is going by now. We got Applesauce, we got Dinkelberg. There's a question as to whether or not Soy Boy is actually going to be able to go, and that certainly changes the dynamic and complexion of this team because Soy Boy is obviously a really, really good player, and it would be a real blow to them if he was not able to go. But work out your work schedules, Ev. You got to get it worked out in advance.
That's a shame, real shame if Zev can't go, because I don't think I've met Zev.
I don't. I can't imagine
Yeah,
a
so.
time when you would have.
Nah.
Wouldn't have thought. No.
There's like I'm very much excited to meet like a lot of people that I haven't met obviously before, some more than others, and that's not a personal thing. Okay, no, there's just some names that have been floating around of people that like, have been around the scene for a long time and still yet to meet. So, that's a pretty good looking team.
Strong team.
Yeah, it's a very strong team. I mean, obviously, Zev makes it even stronger. But even if they don't have Soy Boy, it's still a pretty strong team. He just definitely gives them more options. If you had, say, like Soy Boy at Commander and Kodama at Heavy, that's an incredibly strong front line and something that I would definitely be worried about facing. Even as it stands, they have options with Kodama, with Snowflake, with Nolan. All of them can play 3-hit pretty effectively.
Yeah.
Dylan, I think, could be a pretty effective heavy or scout in that arena because his height is just such an advantage in a number of different arenas. I know it definitely came in handy when he was on my team when we were at Fake Nats, since many of these players were on my team. And I have a good idea of their capabilities. I would like to give an extra shout out to Dylan because I was just rewatching, in fact, some of the games from Fake Nats to try to get myself back into the laser tag headspace. So watching some of the replays and things like that. And man, Dill was fucking clutch in some of those finals games. He was just spanking people. I know. I feel like the first day he was like, I'm having a little trouble adjusting to this arena and stuff like that. But I think once he learned where to stand, he was just stomping on people by last day. So he was absolutely key in us moving up the ranks at the end. Ready for Dinkelberg Commander. Maybe we're not. I don't know.
The last time when I was in Detroit during Nationals, I think that from memory was kind of a breakout tournament for Applesauce as well. So I remember watching some of her games and just being like, wow, man, she's fucking stomping dudes. So yeah, I can only imagine she's gotten better since then.
She's a really good versatile player too. Like I've seen her play Commander very well. I've seen her play Scout very well, and I've seen her obviously play really well at Resup because I think she and I were a really great Resup pair, and were able to read each other pretty effectively at Fake Nat. So they have some versatility on that team too regarding what kind of lineups they want to run. They can do a lot of different things. But I would expect, though, that if Soy Boy does come, to see a primary lineup of Soy Boy and Kodama at 3-hit, which is quite strong.
For sure. Stupid young people getting good at laser tag.
Real fucking irritating.
Oh,
I think she's the most underrated player. Not by me, Doug. Not by me. Not by me, dude.
20 months, subscribed to Tier 3. Nate, you're a bloody champion. Very quick shout out, actually. This week, for anyone local in Auckland, this week will be the last Auckland Members Night that Ninja Jack will be attending before he moves to Melbourne and becomes a homeless laser tag player like many, many other Melbourne players, who apparently are now Brisbane. But yeah, so anyone out there who's part of the Auckland scene, come Tuesday night and give our boy a farewell. Can't wait to go head to head against Kodama as a 3-hit. You're playing Resupply. I just decided you're playing in the Resupply. Hey Smarty, what's up, Doug? Yeah, Than, any thoughts on that team?
I mean that's probably one of the most versatile teams in terms of not necessarily always knowing the lineup they're going to throw at you. I think as we kind of go through the rest of the teams, I mean, there are teams in this tournament that I mean they have versatile players. I mean, I'm not saying that every other team is very static and won't be changing, but I feel like on kind of a player by player basis, this is probably one of the most. It's certainly one of the best 2 or 3 teams in the tournament, as far as they can flip a lineup,
Switchability, yeah.
and still maintain a relative level of strength with that lineup flip. So I think that's going to be really the thing to watch with this team, is how quickly they find their ideal lineup. Because I mean, obviously, you look at most of the teams, and you can you kind of have an idea off the jump of, yeah, this is probably, one of their stronger lineups, if not their strongest lineup. But I feel like, obviously, you actually get into the field, you start making some tweaks and changes, and I feel like this is a team that could really go very extreme with the tweaks and changes, and really kind of fuck with whoever they're playing at a moment's notice, as far as that goes.
Well, it reminds me in a certain sense of like the team that SAC put together for the 2017 Nats, in that we had 4 players who were all kind of used to being like lead attackers and things like that. Like any of the 4 of us could have played either 3-hit position. We had to figure out, okay, what's the most effective with having sort of support scouts and things like that. And we just kind of worked it out that based on general play styles and stuff, that it seemed to work better when Cordash and I would play scout, as being kind of like not necessarily as secondary attackers, but could act in a support role because we were fairly switchable with Venom and Yama, the way that they like to play. So even if you want to say that, well, look, maybe head-to-head or just in terms of raw ability, like Cordash is a better heavy, but it's better for the team if we play in this particular role. So I'm wondering if that kind of thing might come in with the Chula team also, that because they have several lineups, they might just need to figure out that, okay, even if this isn't absolutely strongest on paper with like the top positions, it might still work better overall this way. Although that said, I would probably still put Zev at commander in most of the strong lineups, just because I think that highly of his commander abilities, because I've seen him play commander very, very well in a number of different fields and situations.
How many of them have played Loveland?
I think most, if not, I don't know about Dinkelberg.
No, here's the issue with that. None of them will have played it recently, and that's and while there haven't been wholesale changes to the arena recently, there have been tweaks.
You still get an idea though of a general player, like how the base plays in general. Like those, it's easier to learn the little tweaks than it is to learn a new maze from scratch. So,
Connor says he hasn't played.
Oh, really? So, like, I liken it to
Brisbane.
Brisbane. So, Brisbane, constantly changing their arena, but you have a good idea how the untouched parts of the maze still play. Yeah. Anywho's. Who's up next?
Stack of pancakes.
Stack of pancakes. So on that team,
that will be our team.
Yay!
Jandy, so me, Guy Next Door, Odin's Fist, Brew, Micro, Scythe, and Venom. We are rostering 7 because Steve couldn't decide if he was coming or not.
No, I think it was more.
But it's probably good, since apparently we're missing several knees and other body parts out of our team, so it's probably good to have a backup anyway.
Baden did say in chat, "Oh yeah, knee's gone."
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, "That's right, your knee sucks too." Right, have we done St. George's team? Not yet, Tucker. Not yet.
Well, we did the new St. George guys, so we haven't done Cedar City, but we did new school St. George.
That's right.
Yeah, we started with them.
Yeah. Boy, this is going to be interesting.
So this team is totally terrible. It's the worst team ever.
Worst.
It's the absolute worst. So this team, there will be no middle ground with this team. This team will either be fucking amazing and just fucking wreck people, or this team is going to completely implode immediately.
Dumpster fire.
Yeah, it'd be a fucking dumpster fire, and we'll drop points that they shouldn't drop because they're a fucking dumpster fire and they can't get along. Like, there's
Steve
no
will be
middle ground
throwing
here.
chairs. Micro will be screaming at people.
So
Yeah.
Josh will sulk in a corner and start getting PTSD flashbacks to 2015.
gonna blow harder than your legs on back ramp in Brisbane 2018. Amazing. Look, I'm quietly confident that there will be no implosion, and maybe that's just my my naivety. But why did I jump, Brew? But based on the conversations that we've been having in our team chat and whatnot, there seems to be a good vibe currently circulating throughout the team. Now that might change if we come time to play and we're all garbage, because I know from personal experience that when I play shit, then usually I get mad. We have it. We should probably bring Odin into the team chat.
Well,
so it was set up months ago.
Before, like today, we didn't really talk about very much.
Yeah.
So
True.
It's like you missed a whole bunch.
You
haven't really missed a whole bunch.
You missed some casual racism today. That's
he knows about the casual racism, so
right.
Don't worry about it.
So you're fine. You told the other day and didn't believe it, but want to see G&D throw a chair. Like you throw a chair, you push a chair too hard one time, and people get all crazy about it. That was mostly.
It was pretty impressive.
It was mostly for dramatic effect, and King was standing right there.
Yeah, you're just passing King the chair.
Yeah, exactly right, bro. Push this in for me. Yeah. So I think that this week will be played in pretty good spirits. I think we all have a fairly good idea or expectation of our own roles in the team, and what our limitations are. And for most of us, we haven't played in a considerable amount of time.
Yeah, I'm not even worried about the implosion. It's more a case of age and not necessarily recent experience.
Yeah.
Like, that said, I mean, we all know how to play. We're good players. But it's like we haven't been practicing a whole bunch the last couple of years, and several other teams have had players who have gotten a lot better in that time. So that gap kind of closes pretty quickly.
And that can play on you mentally as well. I know I speak for myself. When you've been playing against somebody in the scene for a long time, you've been historically much better at laser tag than that player. When they go through that aha moment and the game clicks for them and they suddenly get very good at playing and the skill gap closes, that can be a really hard thing for somebody's ego to admit, okay, that person who I used to be much better at is now on par or maybe better than me. So it's a tough one mentally to kind of get through. But again, I think because we're all going through that, it'll be fine. Yeah, I'm worried about maybe a little bit of cohesion, and I'm mostly worried about my own performance. I have
pills
faith
for that.
Huh?
I have pills for that.
Fuck you. Horny goat weed. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it though, man. I'm so amped to play with people I don't ever get to play with, and people that I really look up to and have done for a long time in the Laser Force community, who I think are very, very good players. And this is why a good portion of this team was on my fantasy list.
Yeah, I was gonna say, given the fantasy list aspect, so taking into account here that Guy Next Door is a New Zealand player, so let's just take the other 6 American players here, and I'll throw in the first little bit of drama to our question here. That on paper, that 6, DK, Odin's Fist, Brew, Micro, Scythe, and Venom, on paper, is that the strongest U.S. team that has been fielded? Not saying that it's the strongest possible, not saying that by any means, and that there wouldn't be ways to make it better, but just in terms of teams that have been fielded historically up to this point, on paper, is that the strongest U.S. team has been fielded?
The one in Bristol was pretty good.
Yeah, so by comparison, that has several of the same players. So Scythe, Baden, Odin, so 3 in common, but then also Beans, Tom, and Maniac.
So maybe that team is a better resupply combo. that's where that team is better. Maybe.
I have some all-star trophies over there that say otherwise, buddy.
Well, I mean,
check my credentials; they're on the wall, son.
It's a very, very good team, very good US team, and maybe that is a contentious thing to say, but like these players are, some of the best players that have played our game. Specifically, Baden, Micro, and Scythe are 3 of the all-time greats of laser force. Sorry, Space Marines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only fields that Micro has played extensively are mostly Detroit and Syracuse. He has played in other fields because he did come to SAC very briefly and played a few games with us. So it'll be interesting to see how makes the adjustment, but I'm not overall worried. I know he's got incredibly solid, amazing laser tag chops generally for Space Marines and even for other forms of laser tag. So I'm sure he'll make the adjustments there. Mm. Venom, I don't think has played at all in like almost 5 years at this point.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there, because I know we were talking about like how our rotation is going to go since we have 7 players, like who's going to sit out when, and we're just going to have to figure out like what our best lineups are by the time finals rolls around, because I hate to make anybody on this team sit because everybody's a valuable contributor. But again, it's like that same principle. We need to figure out like what is the best cohesive unit and who fills what role most effectively.
Plus, I think we're fairly open to the fact that like we'll be kind of rotating 7 so that because it's obviously not Odin's fault that that the government decided that I could actually come. So it's yeah, you're gonna struggle sitting. You might have to do it once. The rusty in you, yuck.
Those How genes, you gotta watch out.
That's right. Dan, what are your thoughts on this team? You've heard us.
I already gave my thoughts.
Did you?
I already gave my thoughts. I gave my thoughts before you guys did. That was
it's either Raffle Stomp or Dumpster Fire. That's one of the two.
That's right.
So just thereby proving that you don't really pay attention to a goddamn thing I say.
I said, I'm on Struggle Street today, but that's okay. I'm a little bit. My pain meds have kicked in, so zang. It's only paracetamol, so it's all right.
You say that now.
Yeah, I do say that now. I am bringing some stronger pain meds with me to the States. Hopefully I don't have to use them, but they'll be there just in case, because they are much more effective than milk. DK, what's next on the list?
Next up, we have Cedar City / OG St. George.
Oh, actually,
and
before we go into it, and I haven't actually asked them yet, because from my understanding, Wolfman is attending this tournament, but currently isn't playing or isn't planning on playing.
That is correct. That's my understanding at the moment.
But we had an idea. So obviously the tournament will be streamed. I am bringing I am bringing this microphone. Why don't we get him to commentate again? I think that would add
if he's down.
I would love that. I would love for him to like commentate, even if it's not on the Resupply channel. If it could be on the Laser Force Tournaments page, but I think having that addition to the gameplay would be pretty great. And get him to like interview people throughout the day and stuff. That'd be kind of cool. Make sure you got travel insurance. It's the first thing I get now. What if we just all play 7, play in finals, but Genie carries you around and you shoot for him? Dude, my back's not going to handle that. You don't weigh that much, but I'm also not very strong, so I might die. Sorry, DK, do you want to You want to keep going?
Yeah, next team.
Yes, so OG St. George. So this team, oh boy, we got Slaughtermelon, Thunder, Tandor, Snuffles, Royal Flash or Inferno, I don't know what Brett's going by these days, and Meds, which when somebody gave me that roster, I think I put in the captain's chat, I literally said, holy shit, because that is a murderer's row right there.
I think
that is a very strong team, and that's a very strong team that actually gets to practice and play together, which is obviously kind of the X factor that a lot of the other teams are missing. If you're not Loveland or St. George right now, you're not really getting to play together. So yeah, that is that there can't be too many arguments that's not a that's not a really good team.
Don't worry, we haven't practiced in 2 months. That's cute.
2 months. Fuck out of here, son.
Yeah, fuck up, Caleb.
So Evil, if you haven't already, come join the Discord, !Discord in chat. I'm gonna put a schedule of stuff in the Discord which will display start times in your local times. But you're in the States anyway, so as far as I'm aware, it's the 28th, and we'll be starting at like 10
a.m. Mountain Time. Yeah, 10 a.m. Mountain Time.
Yeah. 2 months. Yeah, that's a scary team. Probably the favorite team, even though they're not the home team.
We haven't gotten to that part yet.
I mean, I'm jumping the gun.
I'm
jumping the gun anyway.
Well, yeah,
we've heard that about you, but knock it off.
We'll have to finalize the rankings here. But yeah, you want to talk about versatility. You want to talk about incredibly good players. Like, they have a lot of very effective lineups they can run. Now, here, okay, I'm gonna throw out drama bomb number 2 here. So everybody has enormous respect for Thunder and other OG St. George players and stuff like that. Historically speaking, there has been kind of a little story of underperformance with St. George in some of the tournaments that they've traveled to. Now, granted, last year, in the case of Fake Nats, that was because Thunder got a concussion and Snuffles rolled his ankle. If not for that, I think I'm not going to say for sure, good chance that they take second instead of our team. Although we were close during the week. So, but I would have felt like it was more of an accomplishment if those little health issues.
Let's see some asterisks in chat, kids. That'd be real great if you got them. Check some asterisks up.
Yeah. So there was that. There was at Nats in Detroit 2019, I think a lot of people had picked them to finish a little bit higher than they ultimately did. I think some of that, again, if we want to throw some asterisks on that, was also because of the way the brackets were split up, that some of the teams that were lower in the overall standings, it was because they were in kind of what was perceived to be the tougher bracket at the end, because it had Detroit A and Detroit B and Syracuse and SAC A, like all in the same bracket. And then going back to West Coast 3, which not all of these players were on that team, but certainly Thunder and Tandor and Scythe was a guest on that team, and everybody assumed that they were going to just romp and stomp through the tournament. And I think they ended up coming in, I don't remember if it was 3rd or 4th, but Baden and Bean's East Coast hybrid team and our team ended up leapfrogging them into finals, and that I think was kind of a shock to a lot of people as well. So I'm just adding some more fuel to the fire here about like, well, you guys never like quite cracked over the top. So that said, I'm sure now that they will just come out guns blazing at us.
2017 in Sacramento, they underperformed as well.
Did they?
Yeah.
I thought wasn't that the St. Q's team? They came 3rd, I thought.
Could have sworn they underperformed that tournament. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
I think you're thinking of 2012, where definitely St. George sent a team that didn't do particularly well in 2012, but I don't think it was one of the stronger teams they had. I guess it's all Thunder and Tandor, but Tandor was coming off of a long hiatus at that point. He's wasn't quite the feared Tandor it is now. And I mean, the other thing I would say with this team, and I think this was a little bit of an issue for them in Syracuse last year, is you have a player like Thunder who is incredibly versatile, who can play any of the positions that are needed, and can, I think, be super effective as a 3-hit as well. But if anything, I think you might actually defer too much on some of these teams. Like, I think that caused a little bit of a problem last time, was that Thunder ended up taking a lot of games at ammo, but then switching, I think, to scout, maybe even a couple of games of 3-hit as the tournament went on, when it became obvious like that was kind of the strength they needed. So certainly having Thunder at resupply is going to really solidify your back line, and he can really take care of the team as ammo. It's like, but then you also don't get the experience of having him at commander or heavy, where he's also devastatingly effective. So it's like, how do you do that? But they have options, because Slaughtermelon, this being his kind of original field, is certainly going to be a front runner for a 3-hit. Snuffles played an outstandingly good commander at Fake Nats, and I know like Inferno plays 3-hit very well as well. So I would kind of expect to see Tandor at heavy again, but I could be wrong. He played scout pretty well in 2019. So this team has options. I don't know what their best lineup will be, but they're certainly, I'm impressed with their lineup.
Yeah, this is a scary team. Even thinking about, I just had like thoughts of how games would progress, and the thought of being a medic against these guys is really scary. So yeah, we'll see how we go.
This is my match to sit out. Sorry, guys.
We would have won if I was playing. Damn it. I actually, this was one game I was really excited to play, or one of the games I was excited to play in Detroit, and I think I missed this game because of having to go to hospital. Yeah.
Poor little Tom.
Fuck you. DK's seen the start of one of my attacks. It's not a pretty sight.
No.
There's a lot of rolling. There's a lot of rolling on the floor. Yeah. It's cool team, and good team, and they've added like somebody who's not only an amazing player, but has basically got home field advantage as well. DK,
a ringer.
We'll see you next week, brother. I can't wait. It'll be awesome. Anything else?
I think that covers that team off pretty well.
Yeah, they make me nervous. That's all I can say.
Just pick him up and shake it out of him. I will. It's not going to be pretty for anyone who touches me when I'm freaking out. Anywho's, let's continue.
And there are 2 danger spots, either of which may cause problems at that point.
No, it's definitely not from the other end. It's all here. It's all here. Right, have we got 3 more or 2 more?
We got the 3 Loveland teams.
Right, let's go.
So Loveland C / the hybrid team. The Loveland players that we have on there, I believe, are Tucker, Raiden GL, and Jaduku. Which I don't know Raiden or Jadoku at all, but Tucker, obviously, good, solid, experienced player. They have the 2 Germans, Andreas and Marcus, who are both coming over, and they picked up Cody from Syracuse, who I think is a really good pickup. Again, I have not seen Cody play outside of Syracuse, so that's always, for me, the biggest test is however good somebody is in their home field, like, can they still perform? Obviously, nobody performs at quite the same level in a field that isn't their own, but do they still play at a high level? But just in terms of, tag instincts and things like that, Cody was a very good player.
Yeah.
As much as we gave him shit for the whole 10-10-9 ranking thing. I mean, he's a good player. He's a very good player from Syracuse, so I think he will help that team out quite a bit.
my big question with him is so obviously Syracuse is his home field, which is a single level maze. There's no
Mm-hmm.
additional thought up to down in that maze. It's all, you're on one, you got one level, one plane of vision that you have to worry about. It's always very intriguing when you take somebody who historically has never had to worry about multiple planes of existence, basically, and I'll go, hey, look, now you suddenly have twice the amount of angles that you have to worry about than you did before. So, I mean, we know he's got good overall instincts in a single level maze for sure. I don't think anybody's going to argue that necessarily. But it really will be interesting to see how fast he adapts to the fact that, oh, there's essentially now twice as many ways I can get hit. It'll be interesting.
It's so hard.
If he picks up quickly, sweet, fine, whatever. If he can't make that transition in the relatively compressed amount of practice and game time that we have, it could be a little rough.
I remember and I think the closest thing to that particular scenario for us is going to Brisbane to play, I think it took me 3 tournaments to be able to actually play that maze well, or to a high.
Well, you had it down last time.
Yeah. Part of that was Beast as well, with some tips, but it takes a long time to, if you're only used to one plane of existence, adding that third dimension in, or second dimension, whatever, really is such a hard thing to get used to. So yeah, hopefully, by all accounts, Cody's pretty good player. So hopefully he doesn't snag him too much. Take a couple of days.
Beans has brought this up when I've talked to him. He's like, oh yeah, Syracuse always kind of struggles in multi-floor arenas, but I'm thinking back now, I'm like, I don't know how true that is anymore, because they obviously played very well in the 2019 Nats in Detroit. And the last time that we were in Loveland, I think Syracuse ended up coming third, because they had some players who made adjustments really well. Whatever else you want to say, Beans, Sanch, and Lenny, those 3 in particular always made some pretty good adjustments and have been good in pretty much every field I've seen them play. Some more than others, but I have not seen them be bad players in any field that they've been to.
I suppose for Beans and Sanch, they played so many arenas through, doing installs or whatever, that I guess and it is different, obviously, playing, standard games versus high competitive space arenas, but the principle is the same. If you can get used to looking, your head up or down, yeah, it does help. Loveland B.
That's Loveland B, or what is it? The Bakery.
The Bakery, yeah.
The Bakery. So they got Bagel, Dr. Feelgood, Izzy, Dank Memer, Sun, and Deathspot 62. I don't know if some of them have historically gone by other different names, because the only people that I really know, maybe I know who Izzy is, I can't remember now, but certainly I know Bagel and Dr. Feelgood, and I think I've met Dank Memer before also.
Yeah, he was in Detroit.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it's another good team. I mean, Bagel.
Yeah,
Bagel has historically proven that he can be a devastatingly effective player if his head's in the game. That would be my big question mark with this team, because as Josiah goes, so goes this team.
Yeah.
If he's there and focused and head is in it and all that, they're gonna have a good week.
And
if he's
that's kinda...
there and not focused and not in it and scattered and just not on top of his game, they're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, and I haven't seen that happen for a couple of tournaments at this point. I feel like he's kind of changed that around in terms of the track record, and some of that is age, and some of the other, mental health hurdles that many of us have gone over,
Yep.
especially when like you're in your early 20s, you're still figuring out a lot of things. So I think he's in a lot better headspace, and I've seen a lot more consistency in more recent tournaments. My understanding is that this is also kind of like an OG team for Loveland, is that a lot of these players played a lot a few years ago, and then some of them have not played as much recently. Okay. So people who have good instincts and have good experience in the field, but might be slightly out of practice, but still it is their home site. So I would expect them to be quite competitive in the tournament.
For sure.
Yeah. I played with some of these players at previous tournaments. Very much looking forward to catching up with some of them. Yeah, I don't have too much to say about the team as a whole, though. We'll see how we go. Hopefully they don't have some of the stigma that comes with being like the B team, because I don't think they're a B team. They're a good team. Yeah, it's just on paper.
Yeah, well, I think originally kind of the plan had been like, we're going to split up some of our good players to get other people some more experience, maybe let them play roles they hadn't played before. And then, of course, I started getting, jokingly, but so nasty messages from people about like, oh, I see. So we break up our good players, and then you guys come in and make a super team. I see how it is.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it, guys. We're old.
But yeah,
Accurate. You guys, you're all old. I'm still older though, so.
Yeah. I think Snowflake put in that we only brought in Odin as a 7th to bring the average age of the team down a little bit.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure.
Oh God.
Mid-30s.
I think I'm still the oldest on our team.
Are you older than Josh? None of us can figure out how old Josh is.
I feel like Josh and I talked about it. I think we're of a comparable age. I think I'm like a couple months older, but I can't remember at this point. Maybe he's a couple months older than me. I don't remember.
Someone was like, anyways, Josh is late 30s, and I was like, I thought I was older than him. And then I was like, oh, I'm almost late 30s.
I'm pretty sure I count as late 30s at this point.
I'm still I'm still considered mid.
Whatever.
I think
Josh might be 70 for all we know. He's got some sort of weird Benjamin Button thing. Like he just runs fast and outruns age. He'll be fine.
He's a 4,000-year-old ancient demigod.
Pretty sure Scythe is 35 just on a birthday. Okay, that would definitely make me the oldest then.
Yeah, you're definitely.
Yeah, he's the only person who I don't know for sure that I'm older than him or not.
We should
but I was pretty sure that I was.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm having a terrible realization right now that I think I might be the oldest person at this tournament.
At this tournament?
Yeah.
Yeah. Certainly this tournament.
I think that's a pretty safe bet.
Isn't it most tournaments? Any tournament Scorpions?
No, because usually usually Trads and Al are there, and they're both older than I am, so it's fine. I think I kind of having I hadn't really consciously thought about it, but as we're going through the scenes, I'm like, oh fuck, I think I am literally the oldest person playing this tournament.
Yeah, and I think Disco 2 might be the second oldest, so you get both of the old farts.
That's going to be it's an interesting realization to make this far.
Scorpion is definitely older. You're right, Kadama.
Yeah. He's actually, we don't date him with age. We date him by how many rings he's got on the inside. Right.
I was going to say rings on the fingers from the championships.
Oh, yeah, that too.
He's got plenty of those, too.
Yeah. I don't have much to add about this team. I'm interested to see how they do perform and who they can beat. That's going to be quite interesting to see.
Yeah. Now I'm anxious to get into the rankings, but we only have one team left to go through, and then we can get into the kind of ranking cycle. So, all right,
we can get into the full shit talking at that point.
Yeah. So Loveland A.
Yeah.
We have Brahmatized, Mischief, Feeder, Shaved Ape, Not the guy I had my gym encounter with. A totally different, I'm sure, very nice person.
Yeah, get out of my laser force space.
Loki and Simply Okay.
Good team. I don't know. I'm so confused.
Very good team.
Loveland just confused me because the amount of time they change the code names, which really bugs me. Back in my day, you pick a code name and that's your code name.
I mean, just between Bromatize, Mischief, Feeder, and Simply Okay, like I don't know Shade Vapor, Loki as well, but the other four, all very good, very solid players. Because the only time I've seen Simply Okay play, I think, was also at Fake Nats, him and Bromatized. But I know just by reputation and from what I have seen personally outside of their home field, very, very good players. So in their own field, I'm sure they will be even better and more difficult to to deal with.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, good team.
Mischief I've seen be good in a variety of different fields. So.
I can't wait to see him. He actually messaged me earlier during the week and said, "Hey, you gonna bring your GoPro?" I was like, "Yeah, actually I will, because we'll film some first person stuff in the Loveland arena if we can. We'll do that as much as we can until the battery dies. If people are keen to, I'd love to capture some of the in-tournament games, because again, this ain't a Nats, so hopefully people are a little bit more open to doing that sort of thing. I don't know if playing with the house lights on is a thing that can be done over there, or if it's even necessary.
I don't know, during the actual tournament.
Not during the tournament. The house lights would be like some of the practice games, but yeah, I reckon we do some filming in there and get some cool first person games, because they seem to be a real hit with a lot of people in the community.
Well, let's just take Luke's super expensive night vision camera that took all the great footage in St. George and just, duct tape it to the front of one of the vests. I'm sure it'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
I've got a head mount we can attach it to.
Yeah.
Nothing will possibly go wrong with any of that whatsoever.
You just have a dedicated. That's what Wolfman's job will be for the week. Just running behind people with a camera. Action cam. Yeah, I've got nothing really to add about this team. I don't know them well enough.
That's fair.
It's going to be a really good team. I will say that. And especially because it's their home field, they are definitely going to be a very good team in the tournament, and I would expect them to be competing for some of those top level final spots.
If anyone actually, on that note, sorry, Dan, if anyone would like to do some filming with the GoPro whilst we're in Loveland, let me know, and we'll make that happen.
So the other thing, with the Loveland teams, I mean, 2015, granted, it was kind of that was like their first exposure to the wider world of things. They kind of got embarrassed in their own maze. Like, I'm trying to remember, I think they finished 5th.
Their A team, I think, was around 5th.
But basically 4 non-home site teams came in and said thank you very much, and they didn't place.
There was a big gap between the top 4 in that tournament and then kind of like everybody else after that.
Yeah.
Loveland A, I think, in that tournament was very much in the middle. It was like the top 4 teams, then Loveland A, and then the bottom half.
Yeah. So my point with that being that there is a certain amount of this is our fucking house, and you're all coming into it. So there's definitely going to be something for them to prove, to say, hey, no, we actually are good at this in our own maze, and we are just good at this, and not wanting to get shit stomped 6 ways from Sunday across all 3 teams. That's all.
They've been playing long enough now that it shouldn't be a problem.
Oh yeah,
They should. It would also be interesting to me. It would also be interesting to me if we saw them put together not just their A team lineup, but also bring in Tucker, Josiah, and Caleb to get the OG Loveland A together, because I can imagine that would be an even stronger possible team. And Tucker said, Tucker said they did that recently in the last West Coast that they hosted. The Loveland A team did defend their home turf and did play very well.
Okay, I wasn't there.
I wasn't
didn't
there.
See it.
I wasn't there. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't there. It didn't happen.
But you're right. But certainly being able to play against like some of the really top level teams. I mean, Chula's sending a very strong team. Our hybrid team is very strong, at least on paper. The Cedar City team is incredibly strong. So, you know, they really will be able to test themselves against some very good competition in their home field. So, yeah, you're right. They're going to want to protect home territory.
Do we have enough foreigners to do a foreigners team game at some point?
Depends
we do,
on how you
right?
define
Easily. Just in terms of European players. You got 4 UK,
Oh yeah.
2 Germany. You definitely count. And then if we count Baden, that's another 8th right there.
It's so funny. Baden's such an enigma. Like, because you were saying before, like, not counting Steve, is this the best American team that we could field? I'm like, Baden's not American, but okay, whatevs.
No, but he's lived in the States and represented U.S. teams several times before.
He's a child of nowhere. And has been for almost every single laser tag tournament I've played. I think he represented Wellington twice back in the early 2000s. In terms of tournaments I played. All right.
And we'll cap it up. We'll say that Disco Stew is French for purposes of this, so he can be on the international team also.
Perfect. Maybe we have an internationals only. Huh?
Can I claim?
Yeah, you got dual.
Can I claim New Zealand?
Texas? Texas isn't a foreign country yet.
However much they may want to be.
Texas is like, we are America. Everywhere else is foreign.
That's not entirely inaccurate for how some of the people are here. Anyway.
Right, should we get to the crux of things? And I'd just like to put a caveat, which I should have put at the start of the pod. All of the views and opinions expressed on this podcast, purely that of our own, and has no real bearing on anything. So if you disagree with us, that's a good thing. Yeah, our opinions
Sometimes.
really don't mean that much at all.
But they do.
But proving the doubters and the haters wrong is one of the great joys in life. So use it for fire.
Yeah, exactly. With that being said, we're going to now judge where each of your teams are coming, and there's a lot of you going to be real mad about it. Loveland A?
Probably.
Last. No. Let's start with, should we do it by team or should we do it by position? We'll probably do it by team, right? Where we kind of... Because I guess it's a sliding scale for a lot of teams.
Yeah, like I have my list. Basically, what I usually do is break them into tiers. I'm like, who is a relatively comparable skill level with each other? Who's likely to kind of be fighting for this group of spots?
Yep.
Which normally I try to only have for an 8-team tournament, I might try to only make 3 tiers of these are definitely competing for finals. These are kind of mid-level teams, and these are probably sort of the bottom teams. For this one, I had a really tough time. I actually have 5 tiers that I've broken the teams into.
How do you get 5 tiers out of 8 teams?
Because there are 3 tiers that have teams that are by themselves.
All right. Well, I'm very interested to hear
You're fucking ridiculous. I love you, but you're fucking ridiculous.
He's like, I've got eight different tiers.
I had 4. We had to go to 5. I had 4. We had to go to 5.
All right. Excellent. I'm going to sit back and enjoy this. Let's go.
You guys can go first if you want.
No, not at all. I'm intrigued.
Start with your fucking list. Let's go.
So top tier. So tier 1, I have 3 teams in the top tier, which is Stack of Pancakes, Loveland A, and Cedar City. I would say are tier 1.
Interesting.
I think I would be surprised if a team that wasn't in those 3 was competing in the grand final at the end. I think that probably 2 of those 3 teams will be in the grand final at the end of the tournament. I can't say for sure, but I have very high expectations for our team, and I will put it out there. My goal is to win this tournament. I think we have the talent to do that, but there's a lot of other really good teams too, and I have a huge amount of respect for Loveland A because they are the home team. They're the host site. You can't ever count them out. Whoever the best home team is, I think kind of usually, unless it's a weird situation, kind of has to be put into tier one by default because it's expected they're going to do well.
All right.
And Cedar City has too much talent for me not to put them at tier one. That's just a super, super good team.
I'd probably agree with that. I'm a little more loath to put our team in that top tier. It's so hard. It's so hard because I know I know where my physical I base everything off myself. I know where my physical abilities are at the moment, and I would liken them to the same as I was in Sacramento in 20.
17?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Not this year,
Not
the other
that
time.
year, the one after it. Because I was very unfit at that tournament, and I played heavy a bunch, and it was a real struggle for me to go up and down the ramps. Apparently this there's a bunch of ramps here, so
Yeah, like you think those ramps were bad.
yeah, it was a
Wait till you
struggle.
meet these, bro.
So I know where that's at, and just based on the fact that that Venom hasn't played for 5 years. I don't know how much practice the boys from Detroit are getting at the moment. The only person I'm not worried about you, and I'm not worried about Baden, and everyone else. We'll see. So I would agree with certainly Cedar City and Loveland A in that top echelon. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with those three teams being grouped as tier one, especially on reputational strength. Yeah, Steve-O, I know that you're like you're like what me, but there is such a level of reputational strength to that team that not having them in the top tier as an initial projection just doesn't make sense.
Right.
So and of the remaining 5 teams, I don't really see anybody else that belongs with that group. Now, I'm not saying that there might not be some interesting upsets during the tournament, because upsets happen and they're fucking great when they do, except when they happen to you. Like, then it sucks. But I think as an initial starting point, sure, yeah, those 3 top tier, I don't have too much of an argument with that.
Yeah. I enjoy your humility, Steve, that you're just like, yeah, sure, I selected like most of these players as one of my greatest of all time teams, but I'm not sure that we'll actually make finals. Get the fuck out of here with that. Your false Kiwi humility.
It's not false, it's bred into us from a very early age.
So, I mean, I'll just say it from my perspective that like I will be disappointed if our team doesn't make the grand final. But I think that's probably true of most everybody on Loveland A and Cedar City as well. They will probably be disappointed not to make the grand final. So somebody is going to end up disappointed as a result there. But I think all 3 of those teams have a legit shot.
Yeah.
All right. So that was your top 3. We're all kind of okay with that. I feel like you need to just combine the next 3 and then the bottom 2. I feel like that is really just... Yeah,
so my thing came in here is I'm like, I think that Loveland B has to be a tier above Loveland C. So that I'm putting them in different tiers. It was the question of what to do with Chula, and they're in kind of the middle ground, especially because of the uncertainty around Soy Boy. So if Soy Boy plays, I'm pretty comfortable putting Chula in tier 2 alongside Loveland B. And Tucker also brings up if Josiah takes it seriously. Like, if Josiah put this team together, I think he has confidence in it. I think they're going to be really good. It's their home site, so I'm giving them a little bit of a nod. But based on the talent that Chula has, if they also have Soy Boy and have that kind of flexibility, and they have, essentially at that point, like 3 or 4 players who can all sort of be top-level carry-type players, I would probably give them enough of a nod to put them in that tier with Loveland B.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like I think they're probably pretty clearly better than Loveland C, but I don't know they're as good as Loveland B. So that's why I kind of made it a middle tier for them. It kind of just depends on is their team going to be full strength, but that's basically it's just a way of me saying that's how strong a player I think Soy Boy is.
You kind of carry your small player.
But I think you can. I think from a it's pretty clear. I think that Loveland B and Chula are from a talent perspective better than what the bottom three teams are. So I feel like you're tiering at 3 tiers ends up making sense. We don't need 5. Because your bottom 3 of my team, sorry guys, Loveland C and the other St. George team, I think that's fairly reasonable, and not because I think any of those 3 teams are trash. I don't actually really think there's any trash in this tournament. I don't think anybody is in any sort of serious danger of being 0 pointed, which is which sucks. It sucks if you're the one who gets zeroed.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the UK players to form really any kind of judgment there, and nor, to be honest, do I have enough information on a lot of the newer St. George players either to make any kind of distinct impressions there. It's purely kind of from an experience standpoint there.
Yeah, and so that bottom tier is going it's going to be very dependent upon how those games go. Obviously, who adapts to the maze quickest, who ends up having the best team chemistry, since basically everybody in that it is playing. The teams are generated from multiple sites worth of players. So that'll be it. It'll be an interesting fight in that 6, 7, 8 range. I can't actually pick who's going to be bottom, who's going to be whatever, but I feel like tiering wise, it makes sense. But again, I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody from that bottom tier randomly take games off of people above them in quotes.
Yeah, of the 3, like, with respect to you guys, I would probably be most likely to think that it would be Loveland C, just because they have half their players play in Loveland on a regular basis. That to me has got to give them a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, you'd hope.
Are we playing? Do you guys know if we're playing with 0 point penalties? I assume we are.
Yes, the only discussion underway with captains right now is, are we actually going to have a system where we say, okay, you get X many penalties that are counted, and then they start counting, like determining what that line is. But everybody did seem to agree that if we're going to implement that system, it has to be penalties that are actually assessed by a ref fest. So there is a record of them happening and that they're recorded somewhere. Not like, oh yeah, and there's a post-game penalty on this that needs to be added onto the tally of 4 or 5 or however many penalties we're going to allow. Because just in general, I hate post-game penalties to begin with. Yeah. So I'm like, if we're even going to do that, if we're going to have this official system, it needs to be stuff that is recorded and logged. Because my opinion has always been, if a ref doesn't see fit to interrupt play, then it couldn't have been that egregious.
So then, what you're saying, Titch, about the rule set, I wouldn't worry too much about it, because if you're getting pinged by a ref suit, they will tell you what your problem is, and hopefully you'll be able to adjust. But honestly, like I think most people will be sweet. Most stuff that happens is fairly accidental. Most stuff. But yeah, to go back to those like games between like tiered teams, those are some of the funnest games, especially if you're, and I've been in teams in those bottom tiers. playing against the other people in that bottom tier. Those games are awesome. They're so fun, and they're probably the games that you'll enjoy the most in the tournament. So, it's probably a good thing that there's no clear bottom as such, bottom ranked team.
Yeah, instead I'm comfortable, saying, the three teams that are in the bottom, yeah, that is the appropriate tier. But again, there's no just straight up trash in this tournament, and I feel like that's something that, even though I've already said it a few minutes ago, I feel like it's something that's worth reiterating, because so often we do have these tournament type situations where you look at one of the teams and we can cast our minds back to different tournaments, and we can think about specific teams and like, yeah, they were completely fucked.
They got crushed.
They were completely fucked from the get-go. They had no fucking chance to do anything, and it was just a very, yeah, they got experience, and that's important, but they didn't have a good time because they just got fucking wrecked.
It's
Whereas
demoralizing.
Yeah, again, been there, done that. So yeah, I know. But I don't see any of that in this tournament. I see,
not yet, at least.
Okay, yeah, and that's and there is always that way. Once you actually start playing, you're like, oh fuck, no, that team is actually trash. Well, shit. But again, usually you can kind of tell that before the tournament. You can point to a team and go, this team gonna get fucked repeatedly, and it's gonna be very unpleasant. I'm not really seeing that in this tournament, and again, part of that is because of the nature of the tournament. It's a West Coast as opposed to a Nationals, so there is some kind of natural level out between the teams, because in general they're not god teams, assholes.
Old gods, I suppose.
Yeah, pretty much.
The old gods, your Cthulhu's of the world, if you will.
Yeah, it's very Lovecraftian as far as that.
Tentacle Beard Steve.
Yeah, exactly right.
There's Toothpick Steve and Tentacle Steve.
You don't want to go to either of those websites.
No, you do not. Oh, thanks for that.
He's got a whole Reddit thread dedicated to them.
It's Rule 34.
Yeah. Oh, could you imagine? Oh, I don't want to imagine.
No, don't.
What am I doing? What is that Transformer doing to me?
And to think we get this in person in just a week.
That is a very good. That is a very good segue. Over the week, I'm gonna try and do as much content stuff as we can. I can't guarantee that it's gonna be good, but it will be.
Guarantee it's going to
we
be
would
good.
Never guarantee that.
I mean, we guarantee there will be content. We do not guarantee the quality of said content, but there will be content.
We might do, and we haven't talked about this yet, but we could potentially do a, resupply recap of each day again, like we do at Nationals.
Oh, cool! We're having a live on-air planning meeting. Sweet.
Yeah, look, this is still content. We use it as content.
This is pre-planning.
Yeah,
right here.
Pre-plan.
By the way, again, a word that doesn't make any sense. A plan happens before you do something. How can it be a pre-plan? All plans are pre-plans. It's fucking stupid.
Whether or not we do something the week next week, I haven't decided that yet. Hopefully you boys are keen, because I'm probably gonna make you do something. Before we do end though, do we wanna make a prediction for first? Have you guys got a first place prediction?
Yeah, our team.
Then?
Ooh.
I'm going to say our team as well.
Well, now just to be contrarian, I don't agree. Fuck. The problem really is in quotes is that all three of those top tier teams could legitimately win. Like, yeah, it's very much a case of there is enough quality and talent on each of those three teams. Just because it'd be funny, I'm gonna go with Cedar City because I just enjoy pissing people off, and I really want Loveland to be disappointed in their own maze.
Should have taken first with or without Zev. If you'd like to chuck some predictions in the chat as well, feel free to. I think this tournament's probably going to be hopefully played in some pretty good spirits, and I don't think anyone's.
Oh, I think it will.
Really, but
as much as this, there's some like trash talk going on. It's just.
We're not.
I don't want to be overconfident, unfounded confidence. Just yeah.
That's your expectation.
I think we can win.
That's all what all elite athletes should be saying. Anyone with a neckline like DK should absolutely be thinking he's going to be taken in first place. We're going to hit you with the Jabria. What the fuck's the Jabria?
Jabria!
What's the Jabria?
As opposed to hitting you...
You'll be introduced to the world of Jabria when we get to there, I'm pretty sure.
Do I need a mask?
Anytime we play Chula.
As opposed to hitting you with your best shot.
Right, so, coming up this week... I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to actually stream during the week. I think so. It may. I haven't decided if I'm going to go play lasers yet. I want to, but I also made a commitment that I was going to isolate before I go.
He's in full bubble mode, ladies and gentlemen.
Bubble mode, because the only thing that's going to stop me from going to lasers is if I get COVID. I've done everything else that I can to ensure that I'm getting on a plane and coming to WCT. So, we'll see what Tuesday brings. Wednesday, probably gonna stream some more Guardians of the Galaxy. Thursday, probably the same. Maybe we'll see. And then Friday, I'll be on a float. On a flight over to Colorado.
On a float. Okay, that would be
COVID test Friday before flying better be negative. Exactly right. I've got one booked in on the Thursday morning, which is our pre-departure COVID test that has to be done. Cost me $250, which
is that all?
Is a bunch of
Yikes.
bullshit. Oof. And then I have to do it again in the States somewhere. I don't know where yet. Probably Vegas. Before I can get on a flight home, which is terrifying, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And then we'll be live for the week, full of all sorts of content. Maybe we'll do a podcast where I'm at the airport in LAX waiting for these guys. And then during the week, that week, we'll have plenty of content for all of you people out there that love our game of laser tag. And even if you don't love it, come hang out with us, because it's going to be a good time, full of good vibes and laughs and, probably some bitching, a little bit of bitching, but that's to be expected. But overall, it's going to be a great time. I'm so excited to see you boys in the flesh. Give you some big old Kiwi AIDS
big hugs.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yes, indeed.
Give me that Kiwi AIDS, Steve-O. Give me that.
How are we going to fit all three of us on camera, by the way? That's going to be weird trying to podcast. We'll have to go back to audio version.
Well, so I am going to bring a camera with me. But yeah, it might just be audio. I don't know. We'll see.
We're going to get real cozy here, all trying to get on the webcam.
Welcome back to the Resupply with me.
No, you put Discord on your phone and you use your phone as the camera.
Oh my god. That's too meta. Like, we're in person and we're still playing on separate screens.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
See how we go.
Right. for this week, and prior to WCT 2022, fuck a year, I have been Guy Next Door.
I've been incredibly arrogant, DK.
And I've been Than.
Always remember to backtrack, kids, and maybe throw in a little bit of travel insurance. We will see you live next week. Can't wait. Can't bloody wait. Ka kite anō.
I've been throwing daggers in the night. I've been chasing all the stars, stealing all their lights. The cut so sharp, cut so deep. If they seem to hit their target, it must be what we reap. 'Cause you don't know what I know. You don't feel the way I feel. All these places I wanna go makes me wonder if my looks could kill. I've been throwing daggers in my dreams. If they seem to hit their target, it's harder than it seems. You don't know what I know. You don't feel the way I feel. All these places I wanna go makes me wonder if my looks could kill. I'm a well-known stranger, walking my own path. Gave up all my mysteries just to get a laugh. You keep me hanging on so tight. Sometimes I just have to wonder, do you know wrong from right? 'Cause you don't know what I know. You don't feel